What's up, drivetrain? We are back today with an automotive video. Not a biking video, but it's still the drivetrain, and cars have a drivetrain. So I've got a couple days off from work, and I've got behind me a beautiful Toyota RAV4. It is a RAV4, but it's not beautiful, and that's why it's here. Now we're going to take a little opportunity to detail this thing, not the outside. We care less about the outside in this case. We're mostly dealing with the inside. So my friends had to jumpstart this thing to drop it off. It had not been driven in a couple weeks. It was a relative of theirs that had just passed away. And so we've got it on the trickle charger here on the battery tender just to keep it up to snuff. It is a nice Toyota battery, but it just has seen better days. But you got the standard V6 in this thing. We're going to take care of kind of cleaning out, you know, we're going to vacuum all this stuff, but I'm just not going into like super paint fixy things and detailing all the dirt and mud out of this thing. I may get there, because you can see it's pretty orangey in there. But I mean, it's got some scratches down here. It's just an old, oh, it's not even a RAV4, sorry, it's a Highlander. That's what I know about these things. Got a dent. Some bird poop, another little dent. So all in all, this thing is, it's not a bad little ride. The challenge though, is that when you open this door, have you ever seen Cheech and Chong? My younger viewers, you're not gonna get it. But for my older guys, my 30+ crew, if you've ever seen Cheech and Chong, they'll just envision the inside of this. Yeah, so we are going to handle getting, whoa, sorry, whoo! That's, yeah, that's thick. Into this episode may be a lot different than the beginning of the episode. Let's jump on in. At a distance, we're gonna vacuum the inside. We're gonna clean it up. We're gonna detail the inside of the car. We will pull apart panels like in here. Just hold your breath. The grime and stuff that's in here, all the various little bits, you know, just dusting around. So we're gonna pull those panels off. We're gonna clean that stuff out. We'll take care of any stuff that's around. You can see how they got it started, but we're going to vacuum the whole inside of the car out. We're going to check under the carpet, so we'll pull the sills up and check it, and then let's close that thing up. Shoo! Yeah, that's tough. So once we do all the detail work and we get it all cleaned up on the inside, we're gonna ozone it. So I've got an ozone machine. We can close it up. You start the car and you run it. You kick the fan on high, recirculate, and then you run the ozone. These things can take out black mold and stuff. You don't want to breathe it in. It's not great for the lungs at all, but it will kill any odors, any smells, and it will help remove any other stuff that may be living in there. It will squash it all. So that's the plan. That's the hope for this thing. I'm going to start on it today. We've got a little bit of time to jump on it. We'll get started on it. I'm gonna put a mask on, some gloves on, and then we'll get to vacuuming. Let's get it.
A few moments later.
All right, so I'm taking a break. We've been in here for just a little bit, just kind of pulling stuff out from under seats, out of the center console, kind of just getting the initial stuff taken to the back of the car. Let me show you what we came across. So you got your normal change, that's fine. You got a couple tools back here, that's fine. Maybe an old license plate, that's fine. You got your matches, some other change, and then you just got, well, okay, there's some different items, and this little bag has some extra things that go along with that thing and the matches, and So that's fine. We're just gonna keep the garage door closed. I don't need to sell any of that stuff. I don't need that stuff in my life. And anyway, I'm gonna ask the owners of the vehicle what they would like to do with it, because it's not mine. But anyway, we're gonna just move that into a bag under the vehicle, and then we're gonna start the cleaning process, vacuuming first. It's good. Let's keep moving. All right, so we've done the initial step of just pulling out all the big stuff. Step 2, we went around, we just vacuumed the whole thing out. The third thing we need to do is check the cabin air filter. I want to pull the cabin air filter out because the ozoning process, you end up putting the ozoner inside, you run the car with the air on circulate for like 30 minutes with that ozoner running. And if you've got a cabin air filter in there, it's just gonna recirculate a bunch of junk. So pull that filter out. I'm gonna vacuum in there, make sure it's clean, because it does keep from stuff going through your vents. So I'm gonna check on that next, and then I'll prep the car. I wanna wipe it down, just kind of soapy water, wipe down all the plastics, wipe down all the everything. Then we'll run the ozoner later on today, but next step is cabin air filter. So still got the seat pushed forward from vacuuming. There's a little bit of stuff that I missed. I'll come back in and again, but push this thing back and let's explore. Papers. Excuse me for a second. All right, got that cleared out. So we're gonna pull these sides, see what we can get. Let's get you in here. All right, so if we look right back here, we can see, if I can do this with one hand and a light, we can see this little guy right here. This is our cabin air filter. And yep, should just pop right off. That thing's pretty filthy. So can you see on top we've got leaves and such? We don't want that stuff dropping down into the fan motor that's just below it. So I'm actually going to stick the vacuum here and start sucking leaves and stuff and pull this slowly, and hopefully that will keep everything on top of the filter and not in the fan motor. So I got to put this thing down, put you guys down to do that. All right, so that's a cabin air filter that needed to be replaced a long time ago. These things are good at trapping smells, which is great. Unfortunately, it will also hold on to smells. So, I mean, that side is still pretty clean. That's obviously the other side. But this side, not quite as nice. So we're just not even going to put that back in. We'll talk to the owner and see if they want to replace it. But that's one step closer to run the ozoner. So we got the whole center console disconnected. This thing I'm gonna just spray down soap and water outside of the vehicle. The armrest, because it gets a little wider at the front, I've got to figure out which, I think on both seats just need to be all the way back. That one's all the way back. And if we get the armrest out of the way, maybe that'll work. So we pop on in, if we come on in here, maybe you can see, I don't have my light with me right now, but I wanted to see underneath the center console how much debris and ashes and stuff. There is a little bit back here that might not show up on camera. The front looks pretty clean, so I feel confident that we don't need to pull the carpet out. I mean, that would be ideal, but we don't need to pull the carpet out. We'll just vacuum under here. All of this stuff with all the nasty grit on it, obviously we're going to clean and wipe that stuff all down. And then I think doing the ozoner is going to set us up good after we wipe everything down. This also gives us access to get in between the seats. There's some gunk, just stuff that sits on these seats and little plastic bits. And I don't feel like pulling all the seats out. I don't think this job constitutes pulling all the seats out, so we're just going to roll with what we got. We're at a good spot right now. I'm going to pause, and I'll come back out later on and do the washing and cleaning part. So we'll see you early in the morning trying to get this truck done. I had to take yesterday off because it poured down rain, as you can see by my garage floor, which is all wet. Got a puddle on the other side, but I've got the center console here. I wanted to show you kind of what we're seeing. You can see all the grime that's back there. That stuff's just kind of nasty. And if we look, let me spin it around so it's better in the light here. What do I pick up? There we go. Maybe that and that. So even if you look down here, like in the cup holder area, and then in this extra bit, there's just nastiness down in there. Let me get a different light. So you should be able to see just kind of the nasty grime that's in there. Okay, and so that's why I take these things out. I want to assess how much nastiness is behind this, because that stuff's all going to hold smells. I mean, this is really just soda that's dripped down. But what I'm going to do is kind of soak this in some water first. There's no electronics in this, so I'm just going to go ahead and soak it. I've already cleaned down here. That was equally as gross. I've cleaned that out. And then back here, I've taken the whatever that tray was, a little cubby hole. I've taken that out to clean it. And so even like in here, there's little bits like right in this area, as you can see. And I'm gonna get my toothbrush in there and kind of clean that stuff out. But this is why I pull these center consoles out. So we're just gonna keep plugging away at this, and yep, I'll show it to you once it's all cleaned up. All right, y'all, we got this thing cleaned up now. It's still a little damp, as you can see, but she's looking pretty clean in there. It's about as clean as I can get. I might do a second wipe over on some of this stuff just once I get everything, you know, about ready to be reassembled. But we've got all kinds of gunk out of it, nastiness. There was all kinds of stuff down in that bottom little crevice down there. It was pretty funky. And on the sides, even like See over here, there's like in these little jams in here, there's just a little bit of nastiness. And I hit that with the toothbrush, hit it with the water, I soaked it, and so it's still kind of hanging on. But all that stuff holds smells. We even want to get around in here with that toothbrush and try and get some of the grime out. So if you guys are like vaping or smoking in your cars, and then you clean it, and you're like, why does it still smell? It's because this stuff holds on to all that smell, and it's pretty foul. So you can see I put a bunch of water up top. See how that's kind of orange still dripping down? That's just soda. I got to come back and wipe that, but I'm letting it kind of, you know, gravity clean itself, if you will. But that stuff just drips through all these little holes and then gets underneath your center console and is disgusting. All right, y'all, we're back out here. The sun is out. Kids are not awake yet, which is good. We got the little ozoner down here. It is a Enerzen. I don't know. Ask me where I got it. I don't remember, but it's in there. It's got a timer on the front. I've got the timer set for 40 minutes, and so it's not plugged in yet. But anyway, I gotta start the car. So let's see, because this thing's been on the battery tender. Let's see if this thing cranks over. Yes! Okay, so we're gonna have the car running. Parking brake's on, it's in park, that's good. We're gonna turn the air on high, and we're gonna put that out the defroster and the footboard. We're gonna set it on recirculate, because we want it to recirculate. And we're gonna make sure that it's coming out of the top vents are open. There we go. Now, because it's running, I can take it off the battery tender. So I gotta unplug that, excuse me. All right, battery tender's off. We're gonna let this thing run, but now we can just plug this in here, which, yep. There we go. And you'll see that I've got this taped up because that's where the extension cord goes in, and we want that to be as sealed as possible. This is still pretty damp, but got that sealed up. So we're gonna let this thing run for 30 minutes. We'll come back and check on it, set a timer, but we'll come back and check on it in a little bit, and that will create the ozone, circulate around into the car, the whole car, and it does an amazing job at grabbing onto like anything that's living, any mold, any mildew, all that smell and stuff that has some living culture in it. It'll knock that and kill it completely. If you want more information, I don't know, go find something else on YouTube. Talks about ozoners, but we're gonna let that run. All right, timer just went off. So we're going to come over here. We're still running really good. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the ozoner. So we will, yep, get that guy unplugged. Should be done running. So what I'm going to do is pull this tape off here and just kind of let some of the air leak out. But we have to air this thing out next. That's the next part in the process. You got to let it air out for a couple minutes before you start jumping into it. So we're gonna obviously we've got to get the car turned off. So I'm gonna open this side up. Let me get this guy. Whew! Smell that ozoner. You don't want to breathe this stuff in. It's not healthy for you. So we're gonna do that. We'll do that. Hopefully that kind of comes out that side, and then we'll get this side taken care of. Breathe in. Let that thing air out. All right, y'all, kind of anticlimactic finish to this video. The vehicle turned out great. The smell was all gone, surprisingly. Not surprisingly, because the ozoner does its thing, but cleaning off all the panels really helped it out. Getting all of the, the little grit and grime off the dash and the seats and all that stuff. Huge difference in this vehicle. They've actually taken it now, taken delivery back of the car, and touched up a couple things under the hood just to give it a little bit more cleaner appearance so they could sell it. All in all, the vehicle was sold. They were happy, I'm happy, and who knows what they did with the Cheech and Chong paraphernalia. But anyway, that's it for this video. I do have another car video that's a bit more exciting than this one. It's a true transformation of a Honda Accord that I picked up not too long ago, and that'll be the next video, and then we'll get back to some biking after that. But that's it for this one. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Catch you guys in the next video. That's it. Peace.